person who, on like the third day of the trip, and I'm exaggerating only a little, had spent all his money. Spent all his money.
Calling his girlfriend on long distance phone calls.
And buying custom T-shirts or something like that. I don't know what it was.
No.
But he wasted all his money. And he's like, guys, can you help me?
But we did cut his cast off his broken leg so he could snorkel.
Yes, we did.
And a pediatric surgeon in the campground came over to help us because he thought we were going to hurt him. What do you got going here? We're going snorkeling. We've got to cut his cast off. I can help you with that. I'm a pediatric surgeon.
That was cool.
That was spectacular.
And the snorkeling was awesome.
Yeah.
And see, I told you that Julie and I like to do the Key West thing. And we've done snorkeling just about every time we went down. Julie's not good at it. She doesn't entirely enjoy it.
Yeah.
But we did this thing called snuba.
I've heard that, yeah.
And it's cool.
Yeah.
And Julie, if Julie were here to tell the story, as she says, the only saving grace in the snuba thing is when you go snoobing, they give you, there's a tank, and it's in like a little boat, and it's above the water. And then you have like a 15-foot hose that comes down to your mouth. And so you swim along, and you're swimming through the Keys in Florida, which is gorgeous.
I know.
And we're swimming along, and there was only like a total of 4 of us. Myself, Julie, and 2 others. And you have to have a master diver. And this guy, his name was Brad. I'll never forget this name. And he was this blonde, gorgeous man, right? And Julie is just like, oh my God, he's so good looking. And so she's freaking out. And I was like under the water, and I'm swimming around and stuff like that. So I come up and...
Clay's having a good time.
Yeah. But Julie is kind of freaking out.
Yeah.
And so I come up, and Julie looks at me. She says, I'm fine. And Brad is like with her, taking care of her.
Yeah.
And so finally we ultimately like took off, and it was cool. So we swim around, and Julie had a good time, and we have pictures of it. I gotten one of those waterproof cameras and took pictures of Julie and I underwater and stuff. There's this one spot. We come over this like crest, and Brad was the diver. He like led everybody, and you just followed him. And he turns around, he looks at us. What are you looking at?
Kingfisher up on that pier.
Oh yeah, isn't that cool?
Yep.
So this guy Brad turns around, looks at us, and he kind of gives us like one of these things, like come around, like join me. And he reaches down, and there's this sandy bottom, and he goes, whoosh, whoosh, this manta ray, huge, whoosh, comes up out of the sand and takes off. It was the most spectacular thing.
Yeah.
I was out of pictures. I had already spent all the film I had in this particular camera. It was awesome. It was awesome. So
a story right on line with that. We're out in Montana, and we had done the Brady Bunch vacation out to Montana.
Okay.
And I said, we're going horseback riding up in the mountains. You have to do that when you're in Montana.
I believe
Nancy hates horses. All right? The kids are
Nancy,
excited.
you got to do it. Yeah.
So I'm like, it doesn't matter. I call the place. They're like, how many of, how big is your group? I said 4. Do you got a group going out today? They said, no, but we'll take your group out.
Yeah.
So 4 people. So we get to this place, and it's a ranch, and it's drizzling rain, but it was really cool because when you looked up into the mountains, it was snowing. So it's drizzling down here, snowing up there. So, Nancy's not happy, and the kids are excited, and I'm like, book us 4, get our horses, load them up, get the saddles on, whatever. So Nancy's like, well, has anybody ever got hurt doing this? And the lady goes, last week somebody broke their leg because they weren't listening to our Wrangler.
Oh, yeah.
If you listen to the Wrangler, you'll be fine. And, out west, they don't make shit up. They just tell you the truth. This lady's scared. We should tell her. They just go, no, somebody last week broke their leg. So suddenly the Wrangler walks out. College kid from New York State, Matt Damon look-alike. Suddenly Nancy's, let's go horseback riding. This ought to be a good trip. And he's helping her like, can I help you get in the saddle?
Get up here? Yeah,
Ooh, put your leg in. Suddenly this is the greatest horseback trip we're ever going to go on. Stop it, Steve. Oh, it was great.